boys and girls. It is officially not the new year anymore. It is not new. Anyone that says there's new to something after, like, doing it for 5 days is an absolute liar. Meanwhile, I'm Jack, the new reader. You know, this is Comics Covered for the week of January 2nd, 2019.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Episode 57. I just wrote that yesterday, so I have no excuse whatsoever.
Yeah.
Here on Comics Covered, we talk about comic books and the world around them, the comics industry, movies, TVs, Samsung, Sony, games. Yep. We'll also talk spoilers, and we'll warn about those. As I said, I'm Jack. I am still pretty new, no matter what that man said at the beginning. But I'm here with someone who is not.
I'm not new. I'm a number of indeterminate years old.
Wow. That's good.
You say TVs like almost every time you read that section of the show, and I think this is the only time that you've ever become self-conscious about it.
Well, because every single other noun that we have in there is basically plural. Comics industry, comic movies, TV, games. Like, it'd be easier if it was comic movies, games.
Industry is a plural that does not have an S.
I guess I mean it's like, it's in the middle of comic movies and games. So when you continue the list, it sounds like it should be TVs.
TV shows.
Oh, we could do that. I like that.
We could. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna write that in next time. I did do some changes because we're not doing that character thing anymore. How'd you like it?
It was exactly the same, and I deleted the character prompt.
It's not the same. I changed the wording.
I guess you changed your wording. Mine still had brackets, character brackets on after my line.
Because you're a character, Doug. You're an enigma.
I am a character. That's my cue to, like, really sell my character to the audience.
You're Edward Nigma.
I am Edward Nigma. How was your week, Jack?
Is that actually his name, or is that just something that happened in Batman Forever?
I'm always a little unclear on it because the history of Riddler's name has always been a bit odd. That is I think the generally accepted name, but I don't know if it's actually his, like, legal name. His name is Edward Nigma, but I think he was, or maybe I'm thinking of an alternate universe thing. But
I couldn't tell you.
Doug, but how was your week?
I have to. Okay, I was going to ask you, but I guess if I must, I have been having quite a time since I got back home in Los Angeles. I went to work one day, and that was fun. And then I got Dark Souls the other day, all 3 of them, and I've been delving into it a little bit. That game is really fun, except it's really difficult right at the beginning because I just keep dying. All I have weapons-wise, the only thing I have had or have an opportunity to have is this broken sword thing that does like 3 damage, and so I have to hit. I can avoid the people that are trying to kill me right now, but I just have to hit them like 500 times before they fucking die. So that's annoying. I can see why it'd be frustrating for people. I enjoy running into a problem, then having to figure it out after dying like 500 times. I don't know. There's something about it.
Something cathartic when you finally do get it, I'm guessing.
Yeah, maybe. And also, I don't know. Yeah, that's about it, I guess. But you're doing something similar, kind of, right?
Yeah, I got real into Hitman. This Hitman 2. I'm talking about specifically the, like, reboot game that came out like 2 years ago, and then the sequel that just came out this last month. But so Hitman 2 came out, and I had bought the Game of the Year edition on, like, super sale at some point for the first game a long time ago, and never played it. But I knew it was a game I would really like because I've watched a bunch of it. But I only played like a little bit of it. And so this game came out, and you can get the new one, and if you own the first one, you can download all of the maps and the campaign and everything, like, into the new engine with all the new mechanics and stuff in 2. So I did that to force myself to finally play those games.
That's pretty nice.
And it's really cool to have all of that stuff just in one package. It's really nice. There's probably a way to just buy it all as one that's cheaper than buying each. But But yeah, I played through all of the campaign of the first game, and now I'm going back through before starting the second one, and just kind of like doing all of the mission story stuff, which is all the like special ways to kill the assassin targets. It's
That's
a game
great.
where you're like disguising yourself as different people to infiltrate
Like
facilities.
Santa?
And yes, you like Santa. They put out a holiday level, and Santa, the real Santa, teleports between these rooms in this Paris mansion every minute, unless he sees you, and you can sneak up and choke him out, and you become Santa. And I call bullshit because everyone in this mansion, all the security, knows exactly what Santa looks like, apparently. And all of them are on alert once he becomes Santa.
Wait, so the people don't think you're Santa, or don't know
I think it's just the security.
Interesting. Well, the security probably hired Santa to show up, so they probably do know him.
But it's real Santa.
But they still like said, "Hey Santa, can you show up at this mansion for this big party?" Right?
But then I feel like then they would, because you're in a big costume, you got a giant beard, you got the whole suit and everything. Like, I feel like you would blend in.
It's
if
a
they
jolly
knew
presence.
there was Santa there.
And I don't think that Hitman guy has a jolly presence, probably, or a cherry red nose.
That
That is so weird to me, by the way. They always describe him as having a cherry red nose.
Cherry red? Is that a thing?
Yeah, they say cherry red nose, don't they?
Okay, interesting. I don't know. But anyways, that game is really good, and I finished the campaign for the first game by throwing a man's heart in a trash can.
Oh, wow.
And it was very good.
That's fantastic. Is that like something you'd want to do to anybody like in real life, or is that just like...
I mean, no, I'm just living out my fantasies.
Okay, that's fun.
You know.
That sounds awesome. I really want to play those games at some point when I get a more advanced gaming system. So yeah, I'm pumped. Doug, do you want to move into our news section?
Sure do. Real quick update here before we do that, though. His name is Edward Nygma, but his given name at birth was Edward Nashton.
Oh, okay. So he changed it when he got kind of like weird.
I'm assuming when he became obsessed with riddles. But yeah, let's see. He became the Riddler, even changing his surname to Nygma.
Interesting. So. Do you get like really like annoyed when you don't know an answer to a question? You like just put a lot of time into just like definitely finding out right now, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, well, in this day and age, like, there's no reason to not just find out the answer to a question, right away. But
I guess so.
I do feel like I am supposed to know these things as the leader here. But
leader? Is that what we're calling it now?
Oh, I'm the leader. I'm the Hulk villain, the leader.
Oh, yeah.
With his very tall, big head, played by Tim Blake Nelson.
Doug, I really want to read another book with the leader in it. Okay, I love that idea. I want him to, I don't know. Where can I get the leader?
Where can you get the leader? You have to follow him.
Doug, I'm serious. I want a story. Give me a story.
I don't have one.
Really?
Probably Hulk stuff.
I mean, I guess so.
We've talked about this. I have not read a ton of Hulk stuff. So.
Okay. Someone like get us on one of the social media things. Whoever listens to this shit. I'm just kidding. Whoever listens to this, just tell me something to read with the leader, please. Doug can't help me.
I can't. Do you want to set up this first news story?
Oh. Well, yes, Doug. The first. Isn't it funny how it's the first and the last are widely
very, very light news week. This kind of holiday week.
But speaking of very relevant, Batman, The Long Halloween.
Yes, relevant to Christmas and New Year's. Although, yes, it is actually.
It is. I don't know what you're... Okay.
I just meant the title.
Okay, but I mean, there is literally a character.
Yes.
Anyway, I didn't say in any case. Anyway, Batman The Long Halloween is apparently going... Well, who knows? These are just reports at this point. They're very early in development, but Batman The Long Halloween is possibly going to be an animated movie, possibly in 2 parts, which is probably the better way to do that. I think it's long enough. There's definitely so much in there. It's 13 issues, I believe, and in 1996, issues, that's really long, isn't it?
Yeah, they would have been slightly longer. They were probably also, or they definitely are. I have the first issue. They are oversized. Like they have a square binding. Like they're much bigger than normal.
Oh wow! Wait, you have a first issue of Long Halloween?
Yeah, bought it a while back.
Oh wow! How much was that?
It was like it wasn't like expensive.
Yeah,
but it was like, I don't know, $30 or something. I'm not 100% sure if it's like, I'm terrible about knowing if it's like first edition or something. I have no clue. I just bought it because I like that book and
yeah,
it wasn't too much. And
you look at the barcode.
I want to look at the cover and be like, oh, I love that story.
You look at the barcode, Doug. The ones in the thing, you know?
Sure. Anyway, yeah, Long Halloween is I've long said my favorite Batman story. I haven't read it in a long time, so I would be curious on a reread if that would hold up still.
When's the last time you read it?
It's been at least 5 years.
Wow.
I've only read it. I think I've read it through like 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
But it's a fantastic Batman story.
Oh, and I love that art. It's so good.
Tim Sale is fantastic. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale also did that long series of like Marvel kind of early days stories, like Daredevil Yellow and Captain America White and all of those.
You were telling me about off the show about Captain America White, which Doug lent to me about how Captain America White very funnily came out right when they made Captain Falcon, is what I always call him.
Captain Falcon?
Into Captain America.
Yeah, Falcon.
So great.
It was in the works for a long time before that, and they were running out of colors, and they can't go Captain America Red. So it was just, it was very unfortunate, and they had already used blue for Spider-Man.
So
bad timing. But
if it was in the works for so long, you think that they could just switch. Like, Spider-Man Red would be fine, and Captain America Blue would be great.
No, well, Spider-Man Blue came out a long time before that one.
Oh, a long time? How long was this series going on?
I mean, it's like they were different comics over the course of like 20 years.
Oh, shit.
Like Spider-Man Blue, I'll look it up, but I feel like it was like 15, 20 years before that.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man Blue came out in 2002. It looks like started in, and then Captain America White came out in 2015-ish.
Okay.
Maybe.
Wow. Damn.
Probably before that.
It's a long time. Well, I'm excited to read that. I know you said that it's not at the same level as like early days Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, but still, I love that art. I love them. So I'm excited to try that. But nonetheless, Batman the Long Halloween, I need to get it soon, like a full collected edition of that, because I read your copy back in the day. Back in the day when I didn't really know anything about comics whatsoever. When I read it, I'm pretty sure I still thought that like those books just came out as books. And like the issues were separate from it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I was thinking. Doesn't make any sense.
Some do. Some books do.
Yeah, but not like all of them.
No. There are many more single issues. I mean, there are books that come out originally as single issues than there are original graphic novels. But yeah, it happens.
It happens. But I'm excited for this. I mean, who knows how much you can trust, DC animated stuff anymore. But, I heard some that are good, recently, but I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't been a huge fan of DC's animated output the last few years. I tried watching the Constantine movie they put out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the last 6 months here. I don't remember when that came out, but it wasn't good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is the main thing that doesn't make it good? Is it the acting?
It's a number of things. They switched from back in the old days, it used to be all voice actors.
Yeah.
And now they've switched to mostly like celebrity actor, like voice casts. So, like, they're people that you would recognize. For example, the voice actor in this was the actor who played Constantine on the Constantine TV show on NBC from a few years back that then went on to be in, like, Arrowverse stuff as Constantine.
Interesting.
But, like, it's like, they're people you would recognize. Like, they're not huge actors, but, like, they're people you would recognize.
They're this like C-list.
Yeah. This one sounds a bit different. They've got, like, Troy Baker in it, who is a video game voice actor. Yeah. So I think that's actually kind of a good sign.
Doesn't he do, like, Nathan Drake on Uncharted?
He does, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of him.
No, that's Nolan North.
Oh.
But Troy Baker is, like, Nolan North and Troy Baker are, like, the most prolific modern
Was Troy Baker in Last of Us?
Troy Baker is, yes, he's Joel.
Okay, that's it. I saw him speak at a Q&A. It was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. He's very good. So I think that's actually a good sign that they're not going so hard in the, although I think I do see some other people that I recognize from, like, TV stuff in this cast. But, it's that I don't really like the animation style. It's, I don't know. It used to be much more cartoony, and now it's like, it's not, it is sort of going for realism, but it's also sort of anime inspired in a weird way that I don't like. And I like anime, like, when it's a good anime, but, like, I don't have a problem with the style. I just, it's an odd fit, I feel like. But
I can understand that for sure. Like, it's an odd fit if they're not going full on into it, you know? Like, it might be cool if they did one movie that was, like, a totally anime inspired thing and just went, like, full head into it. But if they're just kind of dipping their toe in and it's like this weird amalgamation of, like, regular American animation and anime, then it just is off-putting in a way.
It just feels very stiff, because I don't think they get what makes that animation style kind of work. Yeah. And it's not fully in that direction. And I don't know, the stories have been very underwhelming for me for a while in the writing. But
well, we'll see. Hopefully it's good. Speaking of last thing before we go, before we move on, I witnessed the first appearance of John Constantine in the Swamp Thing book that I recently finished.
You witnessed it. You were there.
It was just really cool because, like, I looked it up and I was like, oh, this is his first appearance. And I was like, oh shit, this is like I don't know, it's like a history sort of thing. You know, it feels cool to, like, see that sort of thing. Now he's such a big character, you know?
Yeah, it's cool, especially when it's, like, something that happens, like, organically in another book like that, where you didn't, like, go out and be like, I want to read the first Constantine thing, and, like, if he had appeared first in, like, the first Hellblazer issue or something, like, if you went and read that, like, it's cool that, like, you're reading Swamp Thing and, oh, Constantine showed up. Oh, that was the first time he appeared. So you get to kind of, like, organically absorb that info. And also, it's just cool. I love that they have, like, that kind of, like, connection because he is a Swamp Thing character, sort of, you know, like they have kind of a long-standing relationship because of that kind of connection.
Oh, interesting. That's really cool. I guess that makes sense. That's why they were, like, kind of the pair dealing with one thing in Justice League Dark recently.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Very, very cool. Awesome. Well, Doug, you know, we didn't have a lot of news this week, but we did have comics.
We did have comics.
We'll move on into those weeklies now. We have books. We both read. Not as many as you'd expect after a week of nothing, for the, like, sort of Christmas week they had. But, you know, a good amount nonetheless. We'll read them off. Doug, do you wanna go ahead?
Sure. So, in no particular order, this is just the pile I have in front of me. We have Heroes in Crisis, number 4. We have Action Comics, number 1006. We have Detective Comics, number 995. We have Immortal Hulk, number 11. The Terrifics, also number 11.
Oh.
We have Marvel Knights 20th, number 5. And then I individually got Umbrella Academy Hotel Oblivion, number 4. And what did you get?
I got Whispering Dark, number 3.
How was that?
I really like it. It's gonna end next issue after 4 issues. I just really like the whole thing. And I don't know. I think they make a good environment. I think there's like a really good feeling of suspense in there, of, you know, just paranoia, and I don't know. It's just a really good army, like, Lovecraft's thing. It's really...
Does it get more Lovecraftian? Is it always in question if the things are happening or not still?
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Like, how is the story treating it? Is it treating it as if this horror stuff is happening and there's just kind of...
There's not really physical horror stuff happening, theoretically.
There's not? Okay, it's all just mental.
I don't know.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay. All right. It didn't really seem... It didn't seem like something I would have really enjoyed in the long run. I get kind of frustrated by stories sometimes that are very much like, is this crazy trippy thing happening or not? I'm just like, just take the story seriously, like, as a story, or don't do it. I don't need this, like, hemming and hawing on, like, but is it happening? Because that's not the point.
I don't think it's...
I don't care. The story is literally not happening. It's fiction, so I don't care if it's actually happening in the story or not.
It's not spending a lot of time on, like, are these things real or not?
Okay.
So I wouldn't categorize it as that, but I still like the idea is there, and I can understand that not being yours, not being your bag, baby.
Sure.
But spoiler warning, we're going to talk some specifics about the books that we shared. Yeah, I really want to talk about Heroes in Crisis, though.
Yes.
So I know why people don't like this book. I think that it's not, first of all, the whole thing that it's dealing with is not everyone's style, not everyone's thing. It's more of a specific thing.
Do you want to set the book up just a little bit in case anybody's not reading it?
Heroes in Crisis is about Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman set up a center for heroes to go and get therapy, basically. Everything is absolutely anonymous. They have these rooms that are like simulation rooms where they are able to go to any sort of situation that they want to see how they react to it. Which is a lot like a real life therapy method that we were reading about, Samantha and I, since Samantha's doing her master's in clinical psych. She's in group therapy counseling, and expressive arts therapy is exactly what they're doing. It's really cool. Anyways, shit went down at this place that the Trinity set up. Everyone died, or everyone was murdered, and Booster Gold thinks he saw Harley Quinn do it. Harley Quinn thinks she saw Booster Gold do it, and they're both kind of like doing their own thing now, like trying to sort of figure out what happened. And yeah, we get a lot of testimonials from heroes about like their trauma, what they deal with. Yeah. So I've loved the first 3 issues. I like this issue.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use that word specifically, like. I think that there are moments of this issue that I love. I think there are some interesting ones, such as, what is it? The Black Canary page where she's sitting down to do a testimonial, like every single other person. And then she gets up and she says, fuck this, and doesn't say anything. And then there's 6 empty panels of no one there. I thought that was an interesting choice. I mean, I get why they did it, to show her idea surrounding this whole place whatsoever, which is an idea that a lot of people have around mental health and illness too. The story just feels like I know on our 4-hour epic of our best of 2018 episode, I kept talking about how stories were meandering. It feels like this is doing that.
Yeah, a little bit. It's interesting that because this was originally going to be, 6, 7 issues?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then they expanded it to 9, which is why we started getting some fill-in artists on some of the issues. Because it was originally all going to be Clayman, And then, yeah, they expanded it, and so they needed some other artists to come in and help get it out on time. But, yeah, I have a few. Let's talk about let's talk about the.
Let's go from the
issues
beginning.
We have with this issue.
I want to go from the beginning. I like the first scene. It's great. Also, I love this first double page splash. I think it's really, really cool.
Yeah. It's a little confusing in terms of the literal history as it stands currently in continuity.
Yes, because this is like Golden Age.
I don't know that this technically happened, but okay. Anyways.
I just want to go over, because then we have Donna Troy talking about, like, you know, are these things really... She's talking about Greek mythology and whether, like, we should treat them as history, like, did they actually happen, or was it just, you know, people writing stories? Which is a fascinating idea. And when I was reading it, I was getting the idea that, you know, she was talking about, like, when people talk about mental illness, is it true that it's all in their head? Like, yes, and what does all in their head really mean? Like, some people think that mental illness is just something that you can just sort of, like, whatever, you know, don't think that way, and you'll be fine. But, you know, it doesn't feel that way for other people, obviously for people who are suffering from that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of a shitty thing to think. But I think she introduced that idea because of that sort of idea behind mental illness. I don't want... Oh, sorry.
Okay, sorry. You don't want what?
I don't want it to be that she's setting up for all of the whole story to not be real.
I don't think that's the case.
I hope not.
So I think it is... I have a theory specifically about it, and it has to do with that previous splash page.
Okay.
And about confusions about continuity.
Oh,
so she's talking a lot about this idea of Troy and how it should exist. There's all this evidence that it exists, but there's no actual historical evidence that it happened, which does have to do with, looking at that previous page, this idea of the original Teen Titans lineup, and it didn't technically happen in continuity anymore.
Oh my, what if...
So I think this is either metaphorically or subconsciously for her talking about, it's definitely on a story, like on a writing level, metaphorically talking about it, like how it would mentally affect someone because they're people in this universe, they've been dealing with this for a long time with no payoff. Characters like getting glimpses of the history that actually happened because they want to bring the continuity, like old continuity back, but no one ever fully does it, and it's still confusing. So I think it's just like, yeah, the idea of like being sort of vaguely aware of this history that technically still didn't really happen.
That's a really interesting idea to be coming from a...
Yeah, specifically this line later, she says, maybe it's just a mistake, a confusion between two old storytellers who got mixed up.
Yeah.
Maybe it was never there in the first place.
And it's really pointedly done after this big splash.
Yes, after the big splash, and her carrying one of her old Teen Titans teammates off. So
Aqualad? No, I don't know his name.
It was Aqualad, and now it is Tempest.
Tempest, that's right. Wow, I wouldn't think of it at all like that because I don't, that's not in the forefront of my mind, but that totally makes sense. I wonder if this whole story is going to be about that kind of idea.
I don't know. I think that's just a thing specifically about, like, what would be upsetting her character.
But, like, I feel like, what if, like, these puddlers are, instead of, like, they're getting rid of the imperfections in the continuity? What if that's the idea?
I don't think so. But I guess I could see it, but I don't know how that extends to other characters outside of this specific instance. This is the only time they've really referenced that, and it was specifically in service of her testimonial.
I guess so, but like, I don't know. Wally West is pointedly I wonder if like the people that they've shown to be dead are people who are specifically affected by all that continuity shit. You know?
Maybe. It was a lot of obscure characters, though, but I don't know.
I don't know. That's interesting, though.
It is interesting.
nonetheless, I want to break down other things, like, because the problem with this issue is that nothing, like, really all that much happens. Except...
Yeah, it's starting to feel a little bit, with the extra length, you're not getting a lot of forward momentum in the plot. You're getting a lot of long conversations, you're getting a lot of kind of, character work, which is nice, but, like, yeah, it's just like you get to the end of the issue and you're not really sure what, from a story perspective, has really developed all that much. Like, a couple things happened.
A couple things definitely happened. At first, I was really confused by the whole Batgirl Harley Quinn tussle. I wasn't sure if that was some simulation in Sanctuary from when Batgirl was there, or if that was in the present. I mean, I know it's in the present now, but I was really confused when I was reading it at first.
They have a history. Was Harley Quinn on Birds of Prey, I think? That's a DC team. I think she was at some point.
Maybe.
Which is a team that historically Barbara Gordon, in one form or another, has run. But
I don't know. I just, and also, I don't know. I didn't notice this before, but apparently people don't like the sexualized nature in which Clayman is drawing it. It didn't distract me. But as I'm looking back on it, I can see that.
Specifically really noticed it in this issue. In some ways that are kind of gross. Specifically the scene with Batgirl.
Yeah.
Where she's revealing her bullet wounds is really uncomfortably sexual.
Yeah.
I think the scene with Lois Lane
right before that
is kind of unnecessary. And, like, yes, they also have Superman with his shirt off, but it's so kind of matter of fact. And she's got a giant full-page splash that's just like, why?
Look at my vagina. Yeah.
I don't know. It just, specifically after... I might not have noticed it if there wasn't the whole controversy over that Poison Ivy cover a while back.
What?
Did you were not aware of that?
No.
So they solicited a cover that was Poison Ivy lying on the ground, dead, drawing a symbol of some sort, an S, either for Sanctuary or it was Flash's lightning bolt or something. I don't know. But she's drawing it in her blood. And anyways, so they solicited the cover, and it looks like a pinup. Like, it's weird. You should look it up sometime.
I'm looking at it right now. Shit.
And there are two different versions because they recolored it in the resolicit, and then I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be the cover for this issue, and they just completely changed it.
Damn.
Which is why it's totally different.
Yeah, that looks it looks like she just has green paint on her. I mean, I know
either that or it's for an upcoming issue. I can't recall. But anyways, it was a big thing that was kind of what spurred the larger conversation around Clayman's, because that solicit came out. And then Tom King, like, very publicly came out and said, like, that is not the cover for this issue. It did not go through approvals. And that he highly disagreed with the sexualized nature of it.
Interesting.
Which, yeah, it was fascinating to watch happen. But it really, really kind of made me think about it in this issue. And it's just kind of a lot of stuff that's kind of unnecessary in the way in which he frames women specifically in this.
Well, it looks like they're just like, I don't know, it looks like clothes aren't actually even clothes anymore. Like, it looks like they're just like, I don't know, like, it's just so weird. Like, it's like superhero comics, the men and the women, like, the clothes are basically not there. They're just muscles.
Yeah. It's the different way in which he's framing the metaphorical camera here around, like, it's the fucking shot in the Batgirl scene where she stands up and we literally get no head, a panel of her just standing there with, like, her midriff exposed.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's just like, it's just unnecessarily sexual.
Yeah, like, you can see her vagina. Her boobs are really, really, like, out there. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I didn't notice it at first, but then when I read about it, I was like, I mean, I guess so. Yeah, totally. I don't know. I've accepted that sort of drawing in superheroes. Like after reading,
But
I don't know.
it's just kind of, it's specifically in the context of this story. It's kind of
unnecessary,
messed up, you know?
And
Like
messed up,
we're
yeah.
dealing with people who have died and gone through trauma. These are supposed to be their like testimonials of like their emotional problems and stuff. Like Batgirl's talking about like a moment, well, that, you know, when the Joker shot her in the spine, that has long been debated if there was sexual violence implied there or not in that story.
Yeah.
So to have her showing that off while like having these weird pointed shots of her boobs and ass, is weird. I don't know. It's just, it's the story in general is starting to feel like it's meandering a little bit in service of character work, but yeah,
you need a
it's
story
just not,
too.
each issue does not feel satisfying from a story perspective all that much.
Yeah, like the last issue was all like character work, but I thought it was still servicing like, I don't know, I was fine with it. Maybe this one's just like, it's one issue too many that we haven't gotten enough story.
Yeah.
That's probably it. But like, I don't know. I do like the idea of like how Ted Kord and Booster Gold, I feel like this is total codependence that they're doing right here. And I feel like it's going to be interesting to see what Batgirl and Harley Quinn do.
Yeah, I think it was interesting framing it as like each of them, like it's been like, I think this is a sign that neither of them killed everyone.
Yes.
Because we are getting the kind of redemption through their friendships here. We're getting like, here are they're feeling low, like what if I did something horrible, and here along come their friends to be like, no, everything is okay, we're going to figure this out. And I think that's actually kind of cool. I thought
the Ted Kord coming to break Bruce Gold out was not as good of a thing. I don't know.
No, I think that was supposed to be like, this is like Ted Kord being like, I don't give a fuck what people think, like, I believe you, and we're gonna figure this out together. And I think that was, I don't think that is framed in a negative light in this.
Okay.
I think it is about like the power of like your friends being there to help you in like when you're at your like emotional lowest.
Okay. I can see that. It's just,
that's definitely like, that is definitely the parallel between that and this Harley Quinn stuff.
Yeah. Oh no, I totally understand that. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel there's something weird about Booster Gold and this relationship with, I don't know. I don't think
so.
Okay. Well, we'll see as we go on, Doug.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know if we necessarily have a lot of time to talk much about this.
Yeah.
But, because we talked a lot about this issue now, but I was very frustrated. I made a couple comments on some posts this week about frustration with people hate reading this book.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's like people keep posting like panels from this book as like evidence of like, look how bad this is. Like people were posting like this Black Canary page being like, me reading Heroes in Crisis, and I just,
so why they don't actually get up and leave.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You people are gonna read the next issue. I know it. And you're gonna make more fucking snarky posts about issue 5. I just like, I am totally cool if you don't like this book. This book is not gonna be for everyone. I also have some issues with this book. But the enjoyment, the quality of the thing is not the issue here. The issue is like fucking people reading a thing just so they can fucking hate on it.
I feel like it's the internet adds a different aspect of enjoyment of something, and people think that, you know, they want validation for their feelings from the internet. That's what the internet is there for. Validation for everybody. For social media, at least. And I feel like that's part of where this comes from. They want to read it so they can be validated by everyone else by how bad it is, theoretically.
But I just... I just don't understand this. It fits into this mentality that I think we've had we've had a couple conversations, short ones on the show about this before. This idea of people who like I read DC comics and I'm going to read everything DC puts out, no matter what. Or I read Batman, or I'm loyal to Wally West in the DC universe, and so I'm going to read this because Wally West is in it. But I hate how they treated Wally West, but I'm going to keep reading it because Wally West. And I just don't understand why you would do that if you specifically don't like the treatment of a character. Like, I compared it recently to, like, people treat these as if they're real people that they're a fan of.
Yeah.
Or real people in their lives. And, like, oh, if I don't read everything, if I don't keep up on everything that happens to my friend, like, I'm a bad friend. Like, it's not that situation at all. Like, they're fictional characters, and you can skip a part of their history if you don't like it. You can drop it.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I don't understand this, like, dogged persistence on having to read everything in some sort of broad umbrella category like that because of, like, this weird loyalty to a character. Like, read the stuff that's good.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, maybe it also comes from a sense of, since they have the internet to be able to voice their frustrations, maybe there's a sense of they want like people making the comics to know that these people don't like it. And maybe they think that will do something, like maybe they'll make it so that they have more comics that are more in tune with what they want it. But then that brings up a whole nother thing of, like, I think people are shitty if they try to control, like, the creative output of people as opposed to just money.
That's fucking entitled fanboy whining. Like,
exactly.
Fan entitlement in media in today's day and age is one of the most maddening things to me in the world. You do not control the creative outputs of the media. You cannot like it, but you don't control it. And, like, it's fine to criticize something. It's fine even to complain about something. We do our fair share of that. But, like, it's a different thing to consistently go on blast about, like, oh, I hate Tom King, and go on the internet to talk about how much I hate Tom King all the time. Like, when it's persistent in a way that is supposed to bully these people and these companies into changing their methods until they make the books that you want, like, that's fucked up. And, like, it's not about you. Like, these are artists doing their thing.
Yeah.
I
know. Doug, I hear you. I got you. Later, do you want to get something a little more positive?
Yes.
Let's talk about Action Comics. How about? Okay. Yes? Is that positive?
Yes. I feel like I got most of the bulk of my thoughts out.
No, I know. I agree completely. But, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's move on, but it's very frustrating. Yeah, so Action Comics number 1006.
Yes.
What's going on in this book, Jack?
This book is great. Superman is trying to investigate these fires that are popping up over town. No one's apparently talking. Like, the mayor is trying to hush it up a little bit. I love this scene with, so Clark Kent tries to approach the mayor and ask about the fires while he's doing some, showing. Yeah. And Mayor's like, oh, whatever. Now it's fine. Go do something else, Kent. And then as they drive away, and then we have, like, this whole page of Clark Kent hearing their conversation as they're driving away. And I just love that. And I love the changes in his face as they talk about different things. Like, they bring up, what is it? How the Daily Planet, like, has the secrets and he's happy about them. And about, like, they mention Melody Moore, and he's like, oh shit, they're talking about her. And then he gets mad when they talk about Lois Lane and, like, Lex Luthor, because makes sense. I just love how he is as a human in this story, and it's so cool to me. I love the use of his powers when he's Clark Kent specifically. Yes. I think it's just really cool. I don't know. That's
one of the coolest things about this book. Well, other than, like, the fact that Brian Michael Bendis is writing a more human Superman than we've seen in years.
Yeah.
But like the way in which he's both writing him as a human, as Clark Kent, and like as both Superman and Clark Kent in both these books, but this and Superman, but also like as Clark Kent, as the more human part of him. He also is using the superheroic parts. How he's utilizing one of my favorite things in superhero comics in general is when people use their powers in more mundane ways, or not even mundane, just like in ways that like are not about being a superhero, ways that are not about like fighting supervillains and stuff, in ways that just kind of like, oh wow, how crazy would that be if I could just hear people's conversations from like a ways away, people talking about me. If I could just look through the floors of my office to see other people.
I love that page. It's so great.
It's so good. Also, Ryan Sook's art on this is absolutely gorgeous.
It's perfect for what it's trying to do too. Like
I think the art teams on Action Comics have been excellent. Like very, very well fitted to what this book is. Like
all the times, I don't know. There's a sense like when he's using his powers at the end with the red, because at the end, Red Mist, this lady that was going around. Red Cloud.
Red Mist. Red Mist is the character from Kick-Ass.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. I do remember that. But she comes to attack Melody more, and then he comes out. And when he's using his powers there, like it doesn't feel like this epic like action scene, And it's really cool how it just feels like. They're like I know it's like a lot going on and I'm excited by what's going on, but it's just a different feeling, and it's perfect for like what the whole pace is in this story. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it.
I actually found that scene to be very funny.
Oh yeah?
In how unsatisfying the fight was.
Okay.
And it's on purpose, I'm fairly sure. Because they're setting this villain up in this way that's like Superman can't fight this villain with his powers. And so there's this long sequence and this double page kind of spread of Superman flying around trying to use his super breath and his laser vision and kind of fly through and punch at this cloud. And it's just like he can't do anything because it's a cloud.
Yeah.
And it's kind of great. It's like it's not satisfying as a fight, but like I'm hoping that is in service of like some future revelation where he's like trying to find a different way to go about this, fighting this villain.
Yeah.
That has to be the turn that is going to happen.
I mean,
at least in the climax of this story.
He tries at the end of this fight to fight her in a different way.
Yes, he does.
So,
he's being forced into using his brain rather than his brawn.
Yeah.
Which is the classic like solution to the Superman is overpowered kind of debate over the years.
Totally.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do we think two questions? Do we think Talia al Ghul and Jimmy Olsen slept together?
Oh, that's definitely the implication.
But do you think they actually did, or was he just saying that to see if he was listening?
I think Jimmy is definitely saying that he slept with Talia al Ghul.
Because on this post it also said Talia al Ghul called 9:15.
Oh yeah, she called him a whole bunch. There's multiple post-its. There's one that says call Mrs. Al Ghul.
That's hilarious.
Talia al Ghul. It's so funny. Jimmy, I always love when people like imply that because Jimmy Olsen used to headline a book. Jimmy Olsen used to like have his own stories where he'd go off on adventures, and I love now that they don't do that anymore. Whenever people imply that like Jimmy Olsen's just off on his own without Superman, just doing all this crazy shit, and no one is ever aware.
That's like a running joke.
Yeah, it's either a gag or just a thing that people play with. Like it's a thing that Grant Morrison does an issue or more about in All-Star Superman.
Okay.
It's great.
That's awesome. Because I remember, like, wasn't Jimmy Olsen a part of, like, he was a big part of, like, the Fourth World in a way, and he, like, had a bunch of really weird shit happen to him.
He is where a bunch of those characters debuted. In fact, I think his book is where Darkseid debuted in some weird ways.
That is so strange. I gotta read some of that sometime. I mean, you have the whole omnibus. I'm sure you could.
It's fascinating seeing how that stuff kind of naturally kind of is introduced in a bunch of Kirby's different books, because he doesn't have like a dedicated like New Gods or Mr. Miracle book for a little bit there. It's introduced through a few of his other DC books, like Jimmy Olsen. Before that, it's kind of fascinating.
Okay,
but I really like this book.
I have one other question. Have you ever seen the woman that shows up at the end?
Let me recall. Nope.
Leon.
Not familiar with her. I don't know if she's new or not, but
she's a little moon thing. She looks like Moon Knight almost.
You're right. She does look exactly like Moon Knight, Jack.
Shut up. I mean the moon thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Does she have sparkles in her hair, or is that supposed to be something? Yeah, she's just got something in her hair.
I mean, she might have sparkles in her hair.
But she has the fucking car.
Yeah, she has a car. So I don't get the whole, like, is this car have a big deal? Like, I know it's from the first cover or whatever, but, like, what is this? Like, she's a collector. She knows everything about Superman. Is that the implication
I think
here?
that's part of the idea, is that she is someone who's going to be, like, intimately acquainted with, like, how to, well, I mean, like, they imply, like, she is someone who has been running the criminal community in Metropolis for a long time without Superman's kind of knowledge.
Yeah.
And so I think the implication here is that it's because she is, like, very, very well acquainted with everything about Superman, you know? And to a point where it's even like maybe she's sort of a fan, you know?
I can feel that. And they bought the Daily Planet, so we'll see how that works.
Yeah, that's fun.
Interesting. But yeah, I just really like this story. Like, it's really, really cool. I totally see what you mean about, like, the highs and lows of Superman as opposed to consistency of Action Comics. It's, yeah. No, definitely. It's great.
Yeah. Action Comics is just a really solid, like, it's giving me exactly what I want from a Superman book. It's giving me a lot of Clark Kent.
Yeah.
But, like, it is also giving you Superman. And I think that, like, having both in this book really serves it well.
Totally. I feel that.
Yeah.
I just want to get a quick word on Detective Comics since we had kind of a big deal happen.
Yeah, which is fascinating since you didn't know who Leslie Tompkins was before last issue.
Yeah, and Tomasi is not fucking around. That bitch is
not
dead.
fucking around. No, she dead now. She died from, like, a mutated Joker toxin.
Yeah.
And it really fucked up, sad death scene.
Yeah, and then right afterwards, Zorro is a fucking asshole.
Yeah, so I think it's really interesting what they're doing here with the villain is, like, it's not necessarily the villain using, as we kind of thought after last issue, using other villains' gimmicks. It's more like he's obsessed with Bruce Wayne or Batman's past.
Why, is Zorro part of his past?
That is the movie they went to see when his parents died.
Oh, I did not know that.
The Mask of Zorro, which is part of the reason, like, Batman became who he is, because
the Masked Avenger.
He has a complex about about being a Masked Avenger. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know I assume Zorro is public domain, but it is kind of weird seeing a character just dressed as Zorro and then calling him Zorro in this, just because it's like, I don't know. It's weird seeing other fictional characters just show up, but it's not Zorro, but, you know.
Yeah. But after all this attack, I love, like, him going to the Arkham Asylum to conduct some interviews, and this double page splash of all the villains looking at him. It's, I'm such a fan of Doug Mahnke. It's amazing. Like,
he's great.
I like the story where it's going and everything so far, but this art, just on a consistent level, is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so is he just gonna beat up everyone in Arkham until they tell him what's happening?
Idea.
Why does he think it's any of these people? I'm a little confused.
I have no idea. It's a little weird, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm just surprised they fucking killed off Leslie Tompkins right away in this book. Like,
yeah,
Leslie Tompkins has been a bigger part of Batman's kind of cast of characters in the last, like, 5 to 10 years than she had been for the kind of period of time before that.
Okay.
But still not very big. Like, So it's fascinating to see them like right away in this book, like be like, oh, she's an integral, important part of his cast of characters, and kill her off immediately.
Yeah. It's a little weird, but I mean,
he's making
his,
I think it works.
It does work. I mean, he's making his mark on like what he wants to make this mystery, and you know, we'll see how it goes. It could be just a needless death for shock value. I hope it's not. But
yeah, I hope that it feels in the story as if she is being avenged. It is a little disappointing to see one of the more kind of like strong female roles in the like Batman side characters just get kind of killed like that very quickly. But like they do, I don't know. Like,
can you look at
I don't know how to feel about it.
Cover, by the way?
Yes, I am so curious if this is supposed to be a reference
to that Poison Ivy thing.
Yes, I don't know.
It's very pointed.
Like, is it supposed to be some sort of implication about a connection between the two? Is it a jab at it, being like, this is how to draw this cover while making it sad and not gross?
Yeah.
Is it... I don't know, but it feels purposeful.
It really... Like, why else would they be... would it be a Z? Unless it's a... something they're...
Oh, it's a Zora. It's Z for Zora.
Oh.
But, like, that's basically what she's drawn then in that other one.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense, but, like, it's such a weird coincidence that those covers are both a thing. It is interesting looking at it, though, like, if this is supposed to be a jab at it,
yeah.
Which I feel like I somehow doubt because that controversy just happened.
Yeah, I mean,
so I don't know.
The Zorro thing makes sense that they would. Okay, I didn't even think about it in terms of Zorro. I just looked at that cover for the Poison Ivy one for the first time, and I'm seeing this now, and I'm like, oh.
Well, that was Poison Ivy saying that Zorro killed everyone.
Yeah, Zorro. What if it is actually Zorro?
It's Zorro. What if Zorro? What? I'm so fascinated. Is this a one-off thing that this dude dressed up like Zorro to stab Alfred because it's a thing from Batman's past, or is this character going to be dressed as Zorro the whole time?
I would love that. I would doubt that it's going to be Zorro the whole time.
What if Zorro becomes a major Batman villain?
Would you put
just
it past
a dude
them?
dressed as Zorro and he goes by the name Zorro?
I would love that. I would read the shit out of that.
It is Batman and Zorro just sword fighting and shit.
Yes.
Why? That's so fucking weird.
Also,
that can't be it. That can't be it. It has to be a one-off, right?
I think so. Just to get a word in, because, I don't know, do you have anything else to say about Detective Comics?
Nah.
Okay, I want to get a word in about Marvel Knights, because I'm a much bigger fan of it, after last issue. Last issue, you liked it more than I did. I just thought that the story needed to happen more. Story happened.
Yeah, like, it's all kind of coming together, and it even kind of made the, like, one-off nature of last issue kind of make sense in the way in which Black Panther was finally integrated into the story with the other characters.
Definitely.
And I think that was pretty satisfying, actually.
Oh, really satisfying. When I turned the page, like, to the end when it was, like, the reveal, like, I was completely like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Why would you? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. And I like the Kingpin and Doctor Doom stuff.
Yeah, is there a thing with
issue.
Kingpin, like, not being is there a thing, does he have a power or some sort, or?
Kingpin? No, he's just huge.
So why does he not?
He's very strong. He's usually depicted as, like, basically having super strength without actually having any reason to.
No, I know, but there must be something that he's more aware of now, or that he, like, did with this technology that they have to, like, counter Doom's shit. Like, I don't know, I just thought it was really strange. I'm sure it'll get revealed.
Maybe. I don't know. I think he just beat the shit out of Doctor Doom.
Well, he was...
is all it was.
The whole thing, he was shooting him with his, like, green shit,
did.
and he was just going right through it.
It was, like, burning him, because he's kind of, like, singed.
Oh.
But
maybe,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the spell was supposed to be doing, but he just kind of lived through it.
Okay.
Because he's tough, I guess. I don't really know. I liked the like character moments they made with them.
Oh yeah. Oh totally. I'm really excited because I think the last issue is the next one, so it'll be cool to see how kind of wraps up. I hope it doesn't feel rushed.
No, I think like the way in which everything kind of came together in this issue really sets the stage for like it to conclude next issue. I think they're in a good place kind of structurally.
I guess so. I can see that. Yeah, I'm excited. And then I don't know. I don't really have that much else to say about the other two that we had. Mortal Hulk and Terrific. Terrific's just great so far, or still. Yeah. I mean, Mortal Hulk is, I think, interesting going around. A lot of Judaism references. I don't know if you picked up on that.
Were there?
There were. All that Qliphoth, like opposite of God stuff is heavy. Like, I don't know. It's not like very known, but I read some about like the Judaism references.
They were specifically referencing the Kabbalah.
What's that?
It is a religious text.
In Judaism?
No.
Oh.
I don't think. Is it?
I don't know.
It is a Jewish, yes, it is.
Oh, well there it is.
The ancient Jewish tradition of mystical interpretation of the Bible.
Okay. Very cool.
Anyways, so I guess it is a sort of, I think it's a sort of offshoot of, I'm out of my depth here. But anyways,
it's a tie-in to the Bible.
It is a tie-in to both, it is a crossover event between Judaism and the Bible.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm out of my depth here on that one. I wish I knew that.
Okay.
But it is, yeah, I think you are noticing, because they specifically called that text out. Mm-hmm. So, yes, there is a connection to Judaism.
It's interesting to see them using it in that way. I guess the idea is that in hell, like, did they separate then Bruce Banner from the Hulk, and the person we see as the Hulk here is just the Hulk? Not Bruce Banner?
I think Bruce Banner's still in there.
I thought the idea at the end, because Bruce Banner was in a chair or something, separated from those people walking around.
You mean in the end of this issue or the end of the previous?
This issue.
I don't see Bruce Banner.
At the end of the issue?
That's not Bruce Banner, I don't think.
In the chair?
You mean the like floating dude and all the energy?
Yeah, and the green stuff. I thought that was Bruce Banner.
Oh, yeah, I guess he calls him son. So I guess, yeah, maybe they are. Yeah, I think they are. I didn't catch that he was supposed to be Bruce Banner, because he's pretty unrecognizable, but yes, I think that is supposed to be him.
So, yeah, I just thought it was interesting. But, yeah, I don't have much else to say about this issue. I'm excited to see where it goes, I guess.
Yeah. It's good. It's a good book. Cool.
But yeah.
Let's wrap up then.
Yeah, we're wrapping up. Let's, next week we have Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man as a new one coming out.
Yes.
Second issue of Die, and I really think I'm going to drop Avengers. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I am also going to drop Avengers, because I also want to pick up the first issue of this new run of Captain Marvel.
Oh, really? If you're dropping Avengers, that makes me want to do it just in case it's...
So someone knows what's happening in it?
You know what I mean, though? You know what I mean.
It's kind of like this weird safety net of like, oh, it got good again, so you can jump back on, you know? But...
I'll flip through it, whatever.
I think we both commit to it. We just stop it.
Okay.
I haven't been hearing anybody talk like glowingly about this book.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're not going to miss anything unless all of a sudden I'm sure there will be good arcs.
I know.
But like
I know. And I'm sure honestly I'm not really that interested in War of the Realms. So I know this is going to be a lot of setup for that too.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's going to be about going to be about doing it for us this week. Be sure to check back at our Best of 2018 Epic episode. Yeah, that was a fun time. I think I'm really proud of what we did.
Last episode we put out Best of 2018. So we made we picked winners and runner-ups for a bunch of categories in terms of what our favorite and least favorite comics of 2018 were, and including an ordered top 10. And we debated on the show, and through much hand-wringing and talking about how tough it was, we made a top 10 books. So, yeah, be sure to check that out. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. But if you made it this far, thank you for listening. We're a new podcast, so the absolute biggest thing you can do for us, if you like the show, is give us a review or star rating on the iTunes. If you enjoyed what you heard, let someone know about us, please. With your mouth or with your mouse. We release episodes weekly on Sundays, so be sure to check back next week, or you can subscribe and never have to think about it.
You can do that on iTunes, Stitcher, we're on Spotify, or iHeartRadio, anything you can think of. So, whichever podcast app you prefer, we've got you covered. That word is in quotes on our script every week. So I feel like it's necessary that I say it like that.
You wrote it. So, I mean, you do you, man.
Well, I'm not sure. Did I?
You wrote that, yeah.
Okay, all right. In the meantime, before next episode, you can find us on social media, Twitter and Facebook. Twitter @comicscovered, facebook.com/comicscovered. Find web archives of all our episodes at comicscovered.libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN. That's our podcast host. You can find video versions, not actual video versions, but if you want to listen to our stuff on the web through an easy to use player, you can watch our stuff, listen to our stuff on our YouTube channel or Facebook. If you want to get a hold of us with a question or feedback, send us a message on social media, Facebook or Twitter. Maybe we'll get back to you on a future episode. Our email is also comicscovered@gmail.com.
Yes.
So do that. Thank you again for listening to this, the first episode of 2019. And I think it's going to be a good year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm Doug.
I'm Kabbalah Hulk.
All right.
And this has been Comics Covered.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
Flip off.